Have you ever woken up one morning, stretched a little, and thought to yourself, when did simple things start feeling this hard? Maybe it's tying your shoes, getting out of bed, or even walking to the kitchen to make coffee. At first, it feels like just another lazy day. But then, it happens again the next day, and the day after that. Slowly, without even noticing, small discomforts become regular companions. Stiff joints, low energy, shortness of breath, or just feeling off. And here's the truth most people won't say out loud. After 60, many of us start brushing these little things aside. We tell ourselves, oh, it's just age. Or it's probably nothing. I'll deal with it later. But the sad reality is, later doesn't always come soon enough. Welcome to Marcus Smart Channel, a place where we talk openly and honestly about life after 60. Whether it's health, happiness, mindset, or just making the most of each day. This is your space. A space where you're seen, heard, and where your time truly matters. Today's video. It's a conversation that might just save your health, your happiness, and maybe even your life. We're diving deep into the small daily habits and warning signs that seniors like us often ignore. But shouldn't. This isn't a list of scary medical terms. It's a heart-to-heart. Because I've been there too. Ignoring the little things. Waiting for things to just get better. And learning the hard way that ignoring your body's signals is a gamble none of us can afford to take at this stage in life. Let's start with something that sounds simple, but is often the first silent signal. Fatigue that doesn't go away. Now, I'm not talking about the normal tiredness you get after gardening for hours or playing with your grandkids. I'm talking about that deep, bone-level exhaustion that lingers. Even after a full night's sleep, you wake up still feeling drained. You sit in your favorite chair longer than usual. Tasks that used to take you minutes now take forever. It sneaks up on you, slowly, quietly. I remember my own struggle with this. I used to pride myself on being active, walking every morning, fixing things around the house, meeting friends for coffee. But then, little by little, I started saying, maybe tomorrow. One day turned into 1 week. 1 week turned into 1 month. And before I knew it, I didn't recognize myself anymore. What I learned? Chronic fatigue isn't just about being tired. It can be a warning sign of serious. Things like anemia, thyroid problems, or even heart issues. And when I finally talked to my doctor, guess what? My blood pressure was dangerously high. And I didn't even know it. So here's my advice. If you're waking up tired every single day, don't brush it off. Don't wait until it gets worse. Start with something small today. Drink more water. Do light stretching. Schedule a basic health check. Listen to your body because it's speaking to you, whether you want to hear it or not. Another small but serious habit we ignore. Shortness of breath during simple activities. Have you noticed climbing the stairs feels harder? Or maybe walking to the mailbox leaves you catching your breath. Again, it's so easy to say, oh, I'm just out of shape. But when shortness of breath becomes part of your daily life, especially if it happens even when you're sitting or lying down, that's a red flag. I had a close friend, Robert, 68 years old, retired teacher. Always laughed off his breathlessness. Said it was because he'd gained a little weight after retirement. Until one afternoon, he couldn't catch his breath while tying his shoes. Turned out it was the start of heart failure. Thankfully, they caught it in time. But only because his wife pushed him to get checked out. So if you feel winded doing things that never used to tire you out, please pause and pay attention. Now let's talk about unintentional weight loss or gain. I know some of us actually get excited when the scale shows we're losing weight without even trying. But here's the thing, sudden weight changes, especially after 60, aren't always a good thing. A friend of mine lost 10 pounds in 2 months. No dieting, no extra exercise, just gone. At first, she joked about finally fitting back into her old jeans, but then she started feeling weak. Turns out, her body was fighting something she didn't even know about. It was her thyroid. The opposite can happen too. Gaining weight quickly, especially around the belly, could point to fluid retention, heart issues, or hormonal imbalances. I get it. It's easy to dismiss these things. Easy to say, it's just age, or it's just stress. But your body knows when something's off, and it's giving you clues. I want you to think about this. If your car started making strange noises, would you ignore it for months? Or would you take it to the mechanic before something serious broke down? Your body deserves the same attention. Actually, even more. And here's something else I wish more people would talk about. Changes in mood or personality. This one's tricky, because after retirement, life changes. It's natural to feel a little lost or down some days. But if you, or someone close to you notices that you're withdrawing more, getting easily irritated, losing interest in things you once loved, or feeling unusually confused, please don't ignore that dot. When this started happening to me, I chalked it up to boredom. Too much free time. Not enough socializing. But over time, the fog didn't lift. And when I finally opened up to my doctor, we discovered my blood sugar was all over the place. Mood swings, depression, anxiety. They're not just emotional. Sometimes they're physical warning signs. Low vitamin levels, hormone issues, or even early signs of neurological conditions. That's why creating small daily check-in moments with yourself is so important. For me, every morning, before I even touch my phone, I sit quietly for 2 minutes and ask myself, how am I really feeling today? Physically, emotionally, mentally. It's such a small thing. 2 minutes. But it's changed how I catch the warning signs early. All right, I know this is a lot, but I hope by now you're seeing the theme here. Small things matter. Small signals matter. And small daily habits, like checking in with yourself, drinking more water, getting enough sunlight, moving your body a little more each day. They're not small at all. They're life-saving. Now that we've touched on fatigue, breathlessness, sudden weight changes, and mood shifts, let's keep going. Because there are still more subtle warning signs that most seniors ignore. And we're going to uncover them together. Let's keep this conversation going. When we left off, we were talking about how the smallest changes in your body, whether it's fatigue, shortness of breath, or mood swings, can sometimes be your body's way of raising a little red flag. Now, let's talk about some other silent signals that so many seniors like us often overlook until it's too late. One of the most surprising symptoms I personally experienced was changes in balance and coordination. It started off innocent enough. I'd reach for something on the top shelf and suddenly feel a little wobbly. Or I'd walk across the living room and misstep over absolutely nothing. I kept laughing it off. Oh, I'm just clumsy today. But deep down, it started to worry me. And here's the thing. Losing your balance more often or feeling dizzy when standing up too quickly can be more than just age catching up. Sometimes it's related to blood pressure issues. Other times it's linked to your inner ear, or worse, early signs of neurological problems like Parkinson's or neuropathy. When I finally talked to my doctor, they ran a few simple tests. Turned out, my blood pressure was dropping too fast when I stood up. Orthostatic hypotension, they called it. Nothing scary if caught early, but if ignored, it could have led to a dangerous fall. That experience taught me something important. Paying attention to how you move through space matters. Even small moments of dizziness deserve your attention. Another, often ignored symptom, changes in skin appearance. Now, let's be honest, After 60, we all expect a few extra wrinkles, right? It's part of life. But what I didn't realize is how changes in skin color, texture, or slow healing wounds could be signs of something deeper going on inside. There was a small bruise on my shin that just wouldn't heal. Week after week, it stayed dark and tender. Finally, I went in to get it checked. And it turned out my circulation wasn't what it used to be. My doctor said it's something many older adults face: peripheral artery disease. I never thought a tiny bruise could be a warning sign. But now, every unusual mark on my skin, I don't ignore it. Neither should you. Now let's talk about digestion. Yep, I know, not the most glamorous topic. But trust me, it's important. For a few months, I kept experiencing mild stomach discomfort. Nothing intense. Just bloating, occasional cramps, and feeling full faster than usual. I blamed it on my eating habits. Too much coffee. Maybe that extra slice of cake at my grandson's birthday party. But when it didn't go away, I finally brought it up during my checkup. My doctor recommended a colonoscopy. And let me tell you, that small decision probably saved my life. They found polyps early. Removed them before they had a chance to turn into something worse. Digestive changes, whether it's constipation, diarrhea, persistent bloating, or even subtle changes in appetite, are your body's way of saying, hey, something's going on in here. If something feels off, don't wait 6 months to see if it goes away. And here's another thing we often overlook. Vision changes. Of course, many of us already wear glasses or have reading difficulties. But I'm not just talking about blurry text or trouble seeing at night. For me, it was small dark spots that appeared in my vision, like little floaters. I ignored them for weeks, until one day I noticed flashes of light in the corner of my eye. I finally saw an eye specialist, and they told me I had a retinal tear. Had I waited longer, it could have led to permanent vision loss. The lesson? If your vision suddenly changes, in any way, don't wait. Eyesight is precious at this age. And since we're talking about things we tend to ignore, let's not forget about urinary habits. Nobody likes to talk about this one. It feels embarrassing. But frequent urination, difficulty starting, or blood in your urine are all symptoms you should never ignore. A friend of Alpha. Mine thought he was just drinking too much tea, waking up twice every night to use the bathroom. Turned out, he had an enlarged prostate. Thankfully, they caught it early, and he's doing fine now. But again, small signals. Big consequences if left unchecked. And if I'm being completely honest with you, the biggest mistake I made was assuming that feeling a little off was just normal at this age. One time, I even skipped a scheduled checkup because I thought, I don't want to bother the doctor over nothing. Looking back, I wish I had gone. That small decision could have helped me catch certain issues earlier. So today, as you're listening to me, I want you to pause for a moment. Take stock of your body. Is there anything at all, that's been nagging you lately? Maybe it's a little ache, a strange spot on your skin, a mood you just can't shake. Or shortness of breath when walking to the mailbox. This isn't about being paranoid. It's about being proactive. Because here's something I've learned, both from personal experience and from countless stories shared by people like you in the Marcus Smart Channel community. Small daily awareness leads to big long-term health. Wins. The sooner you listen to your body, the sooner you take action, the better your chances of staying independent, strong, and happy in the years ahead. Let's keep this conversation going. We've already covered a lot, but there's still more to share about those silent symptoms and overlooked habits that could be the difference between catching something early or facing something harder later. Let's keep going. Thank you for sticking with me this far. Let's keep this conversation going, because what I'm about to share next might just save you or someone you love. There's something about getting older that makes us, well, more tolerant of discomfort. We brush things off. We say, it's just age catching up, or I'll feel better tomorrow. But the truth is, some of the most dangerous health problems start with small, silent warning signs. Let's talk about mood changes first. I remember waking up one day and realizing I hadn't laughed in weeks. I wasn't sad exactly, just flat, uninterested. Everything felt like too much effort. For months, I convinced myself it was normal, that this kind of emotional fog was just part of getting older. But it wasn't. It was a sign of depression, something that often goes unnoticed in seniors. And you know what? Depression doesn't always show up as tears or sadness. Sometimes it feels like nothingness, like life has lost its flavor. Good news? It's treatable, but only if we stop ignoring it. Now let's move on to changes in weight. Gaining or losing weight quickly, without trying, is something I learned to take seriously. A neighbor of mine, Linda, lost 15 pounds in just 2 months. She thought it was great at first. Who wouldn't love to lose weight effortlessly, right? But it turned out to be a thyroid issue that was making her metabolism race out of control. On the flip side, sudden weight gain, especially around the belly, can signal diabetes or even heart issues. If your clothes start fitting differently, and you can't explain why, please talk to your doctor. Another big one for me was sleep. I used to be the kind of person who could fall asleep anywhere. Airplanes, couches, even noisy family parties. But last year, sleep became this distant dream. I'd lie awake at night, tossing and turning. When I finally did fall asleep, I'd wake up just a few hours later, staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. At first, I blamed it on stress, or maybe too much coffee during the day. But poor sleep in older adults can sometimes be a sign of underlying health problems like anxiety disorders, sleep apnea, or even early signs of cognitive decline. Once I adjusted my routine, cutting caffeine after noon, getting more sunlight. In the mornings, keeping a regular bedtime, things improved. But the real turning point was when I brought it up with my doctor and ruled out the more serious issues. Let's talk breathing. Shortness of breath might sound like something obvious, but here's the catch. It often creeps up slowly. I remember climbing a small flight of stairs and feeling winded. I laughed it off, saying, "Guess I'm really out of shape." But deep down, I knew something had changed. Breathlessness during normal, light activities can be a sign of heart problems, lung disease, or even anemia. For me, a simple blood test revealed low iron levels. That's something easily fixed with diet and supplements. But imagine if I had ignored it. If your breathing feels different, don't wait. Another one that caught me by surprise: swelling in the feet and ankles. I noticed my socks were leaving deep marks around my legs. My shoes felt tighter by the afternoon. Swelling like this can point to poor circulation, kidney problems, or congestive heart failure. I was lucky. I caught it early, adjusted my salt intake, stayed more active, and followed my doctor's advice. But for many people, this small sign is missed until it becomes an emergency. Now, I want to share a story about a close friend of mine, Robert. He started having sudden, sharp headaches, different from anything he'd experienced before. They came on quickly, lasted longer, and felt way more intense. He kept saying, "It's just stress. It'll pass." But one afternoon, while we were having coffee, he suddenly couldn't finish his sentence. His speech slurred, and I immediately knew something was wrong. We rushed him to the hospital. It was a mini stroke. Thankfully, he recovered, but only because we acted fast. The lesson? If you get a headache that feels new, sudden, or severe, if it comes with vision changes, confusion, or difficulty speaking, don't wait. Another subtle but dangerous sign: changes in balance and coordination. If you start stumbling more often, feeling dizzy when you stand, or bumping into things, it could signal problems with your inner ear, low blood pressure, or even early neurological issues. Balance isn't just about avoiding falls. It's about protecting your brain and heart too. Then there's something I call gut instinct changes. You know your body better than anyone. If you feel that something just isn't right, whether it's your digestion, your skin, your energy levels, don't ignore that voice inside you. One woman I know felt sudden, unexplained bloating and fullness after small meals. Turned out she had early-stage ovarian cancer. Caught in time because she trusted her gut and got checked. I know these stories sound scary. And believe me, I don't want to alarm you, but I do want to wake you up a little. Not because I think something bad is going to happen, but because I truly believe that awareness saves lives. That it's not about living in fear. It's about being proactive, paying attention, acting early. That's the heart of what we do here on the Marcus Smart channel. This isn't a space for lectures or scare tactics. It's a community where we talk openly about real experiences and support each other to live better, healthier, and longer. You've made it this far in life. You've survived challenges that younger generations can't even imagine. Now your health deserves the same fierce attention you've given to every other important part of your life. So take a deep breath. Think back over the last few weeks and months. Is there any small change your body's been trying to tell you about? If yes, promise me you'll make that call. Book that appointment. Ask that question. You're not being dramatic. You're being smart. And you're giving yourself the best chance at many more good years ahead. Now, as we're reaching the end of this conversation, I want to take a moment to pause with you. Let's breathe. Let's sit with everything we've just talked about. Maybe some of the symptoms I mentioned today felt a little too familiar. Maybe you found yourself nodding along, thinking, yes, that's been happening to me, but I've been ignoring it. Or maybe you're thinking of someone close to you, a spouse, a sibling, a friend who's been brushing off their own warning signs. And listen, I get it. I really do. After a certain age, it becomes second nature to minimize what we feel, to tough it out. We don't want to be seen as complainers. We don't want to bother anyone. Or worse, we're afraid that if we ask too many questions about our health, we'll hear answers we're not ready to face. But here's the truth. Pretending something isn't happening doesn't make it go away. In fact, it often makes things worse. Early action is powerful. Small steps today can prevent big problems tomorrow. I want you to remember something really important. Your health is not just about you. It's about the people who love you, the friends who want to keep making memories with you, the grandkids who still want you cheering for them from the sidelines, the partner who wants to hold your hand for many more years to come. So if there's even the smallest part of you thinking, maybe I should get that checked out, please listen to that voice. Book that appointment. Make that phone call. Ask the questions you've been putting off. Because here's the beautiful part. Taking care of your health is an act of love for yourself, for your family, for the life you still have ahead. And if you're sitting there thinking, but what if it's something serious? Let me remind you, knowing is always better than wondering. Action gives you options. It gives you control. It gives you time. Here on the Marcus Smart channel, that's what we're all about, taking control back, rewriting the story of aging, refusing to let fear or pride or busyness steal our chance at a longer, fuller, healthier life. So before you click away from this video, I want to invite you to do 3 simple things. First, leave me a comment below. Tell me, have you experienced any of these symptoms lately? Or is there another health change you've been wondering about? Let's talk about it together. This is a safe space where no question is too small and no worry is too silly. Second, If you found any part of this video helpful, please click that like button. Not just for me, but so that YouTube knows this content matters and can share it with more people who might need this reminder today. And third, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. On this channel, we're building a community of people who believe that growing older doesn't mean giving up. It means getting smarter, being proactive, and living life on our own terms. I've got more videos coming your way soon, all focused on staying healthy, staying strong, and making the most of every single day we're given. You're not alone on this journey. We're in it together. So here's to you, to your health, to your strength, and to many more beautiful years ahead. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.